So let's go back to where we left off. So we are only able to move left to right, forward, and backward. We can also jump, technically flying, I guess, because if I hold my space bar, I'm technically flying. But we can't use the look. We are ooh, we are unable to look. Okay? So we are here to improve that. So navigate to your player and to your script. What we want to do is to create a new function and then call in the input event. And this function is actually a built-in function of Godot, just like the process and then the ready. And what it does is that it is used for gestures. For I think it is a more wide range for detecting inputs of mouse, keyboards, controllers, and touch screens. And that is all I know for now. And my point is that we want to use that and we are to use that for our mouse input. And for future purposes, we are to use this for our touchscreen because this is supposedly to be a mobile game. Now, let's declare a variable called look sensitivity for how much or how fast how we look with our view or how we view to the right and any directions. And we would have a strength of 0.5 for now. Then first let's let's simulate the looking of direction from left to right and right to left in our 3D space. We can do that by with the rotate Y. So we can do that with the rotate Y and then call in the event relative X and then multiply it with the strength of our sensitivity, which is the variable look sensitivity. Okay, so if we run this one, yummy. So it's not perfect, and we have, as you can see here, if I move my mouse to the right, it goes to the left. Moving to the right, it goes to the left. Now, if I move my mouse to the left, it goes to the right. That is because we have a positive event relative of x. So what is the event relative that x? So I access the parameter, the event from the function input, which is a built-in function of Godot for detecting an input for our mouse, and the relative of x, which means the detection of the mouse in the in, for what do you call this, for in a horizontal manner. So we are here to capture the event and then calculate the direction of the mouse in a horizontal way and multiplied it with the strength of our sensitivity. Hence, we are able to move in this manner. But it's not smooth. And speaking of smooth, we need precision. And we have here in the mathematics called degrees to radius. But in Godot, that would be deg to rad. We copy paste in and pass it as our argument in the degrees to radius function as a single argument in the rotate y function. Uh, Now, in mathematics, the degrees to radius is actually a calculation process where it is used for precision. In mathematics, that is precision, but in the language of game development, precision means more smooth uh, usage, I guess. But that would be it. And as you can see, you might be asking here, Why do we have a rotate Y here, even though we are moving it in the horizontal manner? We should be using X, not Y, you might ask. Well, my friends, I think and I believe, and to what I understand is that because rotate Y is there even though we use or even though we are calculating or coding the look for our player in a horizontal way, is that because if we look to the right, our X value would change. Therefore, the Y value would also change. That would mean, uh, what do you call this? Inverse. Is it inversely proportional? Yeah, I think so. I think it's called inversely proportional, where if point A has moved, therefore the point B should also move. That would that would explain, I hope, why we use the rotate Y even though we are coding for the X coordinate. And so we are done moving our horizontal way, but it's still inverted. So that's because we have a positive event relative of X. All we have to do is that we have to negate this one to invert how the mouse look. So if I move to the left, if I move the mouse to the left, we move to the left. If I move my mouse to the right, we would look at the right direction. So now that the horizontal looking is now done, we now have to look or code how we look vertically. Therefore, if we use the rotate Y, then we therefore use the rotate X, correct? And before that, we have to use this camera. Oh, no, no, no. Before that, we actually have to create our neck, rather. So navigate to the 3D and then delete this one. Control A and then nodes. Let's name it as neck. And inside the neck node is that we would, excuse me, instantiate the camera node as a child. And then we move up, and therefore we now have a head. Rather, let's name this as head. Okay, now go back to the script, and then we have an interesting function. Is it a function or a feature? I think so. It's a function. And let's call in the onReady, because we would have to manipulate this node. We can manipulate this node with the use of this feature of Godot onReady in order to initialize a variable and assign the node. Therefore, we now are able to manipulate the assigned node. So let me see. Let's name this var head and then put it in here. No, put it in here. I'm going to manipulate this one. So I assigned it to a variable called head and with the use of the onReady because it is a node. Now, we now have to manipulate the vertical way. So call in the variable head, then put it to rotate X just like we did here, rotate Y. And then all we have to do is to copy paste this one. But rather than X, this should be Y. Because we used rotate Y to use horizontally, we now have to use the X to move vertically. That is why we have here. Now let's try it again. Hopefully it does work. Yes, it works. Whoa, what the? Yep, it works. Now the problem is that it's moving to um like as if my neck cracks, as if I'm a dead, what do you call this? It's overlooking, you know. Mm. And we also have another problem. What the? And we also have, bro, what? And we also have another problem, which is, look at the mouse. See? It's overlapping. It's escaping the viewport. And this is our viewport. We don't want that when we are in game. So to fix that, let's navigate to our func input. I mean, before that, let's navigate to our ready. And it says called when the node enters the scene tree for the first time. So the ready function is called when when a scene has executed for the first time. So the first ever function to execute is to what I believe is this one. And that would be the accessing of the class input and then setting the mouse mode. Is it mouse mode? And input mouse mode captured. So this would capture the mouse mode inside, or this would capture our cursor rather inside only in the inside the viewport. As you can see, there is no more. Whoa, what the? So as you can see, there is no more. There is no more. What do you call this? There is no more mouse. The cursor is now hidden, and um, there's no. Yes, it is unable to skip. Anyways, let's skip this one. Wow, what's this? But it would be awkward to be, to to have no cursor when we need it. So when we escape, we want our cursor to appear, and we could tackle that. But that would be, I guess, later on. So the problem that I see here is that the overlooking of our head, and then this one we aren't able to move for some reason. And then I guess so, that's it. So yeah, that would be another video, I guess, because I will be debugging it and troubleshooting. But for now, I've successfully made or moved my head, not my player head. But I want to explore more. Let me see. Hand rotate that X. I'm going to upgrade this, I guess. So var, let's put it to head, and then the head variable should be assigned to the head, which is the rotation degrees. Is it? Head X rotate degrees. Hum. Head rotation degrees. Oh, there it is. Should be head.x. So we get rid of this one. We are to replace this one with this one. So the var head.x is assigned to the head rotation degrees, and then we will have a minimum what minimum head value, because we are to clamp this the head movement because it's overlooking. We have to move it like a human, like a normal human. And that would be degrees to rad of, let's say, negative 90, and then the max would be, oh, max would be positive 90. And then we therefore now clamp, I guess. We are able to do that by calling in the head. Is it the head? Yeah, I think we only need this one because we are to move this pivot, I mean this node. Therefore, we put it here and then clamp it, if I'm right. But what is this? Oh, so rotate X, I guess. Rotate X. Hmm, there's something wrong. Anyways, and then the clamp function is or has a parameter of value, minimum value, and then the max value. The clamp function is a function of Godot that is used to restrict a value to operate in a certain or in a specified range. So let's say there would be a zombie apocalypse and we don't want the the last humans to be infected in this zombie place. Therefore, we have to restrict a zone in where people could move around freely and to prevent themselves from turning to a zombie. So that would be my analogy of clump, and that is what we want to do in our vertical head movement. So if we look up, we should only looking at this part, and if we look down, we should only be looking at this part, not all the way around. So let's set the value to the head, and then the minimum value would be the min head val, and then the max head head val. And then we assign. I think I'm. Is this correct? There should be a way where I can rotate. Excuse me. Rotate the X part. But I can't. Let's run this for now. Of course, there would be an error. Boom. Non-existent function cloud node 3D. But I've already assigned, which is this one. Perhaps it's because we did not assign the camera. And we rerun. Oops. Invalid call. I guess that would be another story. I mean, another episode for now. And I'll figure it out later. So that would be it. Nice.